What's up, you guys? Michael Elefante here, and I'm here to talk to you a little bit about how much money can you actually make through short-term rentals using sites such as Airbnb or VRBO, HomeAway. And while some say you can make thousands of dollars a month in passive income, and others say it won't be worth your time or investment, and it'll be a struggle. You'll be lucky to break even. So honestly, it could be either or, but it really comes down to a few main factors, right? What are your monthly expenses, whether it be fixed costs or variable costs, and what are your gross bookings throughout the year? What are you collecting on a nightly basis or an average nightly rate from your guests, and what is your occupancy rate? So how many days throughout the year are you booked? So we'll look at a few things and we'll break down two examples. But in order to get your gross revenue for the year or your net cash flow, we're going to end up taking the total revenue or total bookings that we get either on a monthly or annual basis, and we'll subtract the total expenses, again, the fixed and variable expenses put together. Okay, and obviously with the larger group you can accommodate in your rental, the more you can charge for a nightly rate. And again, if you live in a city like I do, such as Nashville, where there's over 15 million visitors a year and people come for various bachelorette or bachelor parties or special occasions, people are willing to fork up a little more money to have a unique experience and stay in a nice place closer to the action in downtown. So in a city like Nashville, it's really not uncommon to see a rental that sleeps, let's say, 12 to 16 people, charge $1,000 a night on the weekends. So if you're booked Friday and Saturday nights for the entire year, that'd be 52 total weekends. Again, not even taking into consideration weeknights. That would be $2,000 a weekend in bookings, bringing us to a $104,000 a year in gross bookings. And that comes down to about $8,666 a month. I know, you're saying most places aren't booked every weekend, and that's true in most cases. Now, I will say there are places in Nashville that are booked nearly every single weekend throughout the year. And again, this example does not take into account weeknights. But just for example's sake, to make it a little more realistic, we'll say maybe the 75th percentile of rentals that sleep 12 plus guests in a city like Nashville are booking, let's say, 75% of weekends. So Friday and Saturday nights throughout the year. So that'd be 39 total weekends, again, at $2,000 a weekend. That brings us to around gross bookings of, I think, $78,000 a year or $6,500 a month. All right, so now it sounds great, but let's break it down further, and we got to break down our expenses, right? So let's assume our monthly fixed expenses such as mortgage, taxes, insurance costs, and other fixed expenses add up to around $3,000 a month. We can expect variable costs to add up somewhere between $800 to $1,200 a month. Again, they're variable costs, so it varies month per month based on utility expenses, and some months you might have to restock certain things more than other months, and so on. So we'll say, just for, again, the example's sake, an average of $1,000 in variable expenses, and again, we add that to our fixed expenses, we get a total expenses on a monthly basis of $4,000 a month or $48,000 a year. So again, we'll take our gross bookings or our gross revenue minus our total expenses. So remember, that was $6,500 a month in bookings minus the $4,000 a month in expenses. We get a monthly net cash flow of around $2,500 a month. That adds up to an annual net cash flow of $30,000 a year. That is a big chunk of money that you could be earning, again, through a short-term rental. Now remember, this is an example of a property that I would consider is in maybe the 75th or higher percentile for occupancy rate and average nightly rate, okay? So to further the conversation, let's look at another example. Again, let's say same house, but maybe it's not as thoughtfully furnished as the other house, and the host doesn't market the property as well. So again, that might bring our occupancy rate down. So for this example, again, we'll just kind of use nice even numbers. Let's say it's booked 50% of the weekends, and again, not taking into account weeknights. And we'll still say charging the same $1,000 a night on the weekends. So if we're booked 50% of the weekends throughout a given year, that'd be 26 weekends, again, $2,000 for the weekend. And that brings us to $52,000 a year in gross bookings or $4,333 a month on average. So assuming the expenses are the same, we can calculate again our net cash flow. So it'd be that $4,333 a month minus our $4,000 of fixed and variable expenses, and we get a net cash flow of only $333 a month, or just shy of $4,000 a year. I think it's $3,996 a year. Now that's a drastic difference. In the first example, we're netting a cash flow of $30,000 a year, and the second, just shy of $4,000 a year. Now the first example would make your investment well worth it, and while the second, probably not. But the real answer, we seek as real estate investors and just investors in general, is what is our annual cash-on-cash return, and also, more importantly, what is our annual total return on our investment. And we'll cover that in the next video. We're going to continue breaking down these two specific examples to see, we'll take into account things as home appreciation and then loan pay down as you build equity in the house and things like that. And we'll also take in comparison to typical returns of the stock market, S&P 500, things like that, or your typical 401k retirement account. But that's really it for now, guys, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please put comments below, like the video if you liked it, and we'll see you next video as we further break down the example. Thanks.